All right, so that camera should be recording now. And oh wait,
It is.
I should have done the intro first.
Yeah, probably.
All right, welcome everybody to Flashpoint, and it is yours truly, Jim Connors, also known as Austin O'Connor. And here I am with my fine guest here, my young guest. I don't know about the old guy here, but my young guest. So how about you all introduce each other?
Yes.
That right there is my brother, the one, the only Mr. Will Powers.
And ladies and gentlemen, sitting across from me would be the great, the money fight, Mr. Stereo Girl Hush, Clarke Williams.
Talk to me nice, baby. Powers Investment is in the building. Oh, littering the table with gold. Look at all that.
I was gonna say this is all new to me here, having all these belts on one table, man.
Someone's jealous.
Jeez. You know, I may be a little bit jealous. I haven't held the title in a bit.
It's okay.
You know, I help you even write these stories.
Sitting at the mountaintop is not a hard place to be when you're just as good as Powers Investment, brother.
I'm looking at your guys' like gold and silver watches too, man. Like,
We got Rollies and Invicta working together.
dang,
Sweet.
man. Yeah, I'm just looking at even like this belt, even like your $1 million belt right here, man. Like,
That's corporate company property.
The trip we went through to acquire that thing is another story for another time.
all right, you know that'll be on another episode then. But you know, I'm like usually on Flashpoint here we talk about wrestlers like old past, like you know how did they get into the industry, what got them into it, you know those fine examples that I'll throw out there. So I would start out with that. You know what got you guys into wrestling? You know what was the person? What was the action? What was like?
Are you saying wrestling altogether or
like when you're like
what we're doing now?
all
All?
of it? Yeah.
I mean, like even,
You know, we got time here to talk about it. So
I mean, if you really think about it, there was always that one guy, or there was that one show, or there was that one moment that was just like, wow, like okay, that caught my eye. Like,
Yeah.
okay, sitting here playing with
I
G.I. Joes,
I
and
still
ripping off
remember my
arcades, and
first
it's like,
moment.
oh, that's cool. Okay, cool. And then all of a sudden it just draws you in, and the next thing you know, you're doing it. So what was that beginning moment?
It was probably it's before I was born, but other than that, it was probably Shawn Michaels shooting down the zip line.
WrestleMania against
Whoa.
You know, like
Yeah.
Iron Man match.
when I seen that, I'm like, I want to do that. So and then it was just like, it was history pretty much.
Mhm.
I mean, I'm here now, but there's a lot of steps to get here where we are now. It's not. I mean, we've wrestled in the dirt, in a mud pit,
yeah,
in the rain, in the snow,
yeah.
and it was that moment. I was 5 years old, and I was watching that on a rerun, on a videotape actually, that we recorded.
VHS days.
Yeah, my mother and my mother's boyfriend at the time used to do wrestling parties, pay-per-view parties.
Right.
So it was like, I remember putting the tape in the VCR, and it was at the part where Michaels came right down the zip line. And I was just hooked. I watched that entire thing.
You know, Vince did that first.
Really?
When they were setting the match up before WrestleMania started.
Oh, as a
Vince,
pre-run.
yeah, Vince was like, I'm not going to put anything my wrestlers are going to go through that I wouldn't do. You know, there's going to be a lot of people watching this like, so what about Owen Hart? That's not the point. Vince did that first, you know what I mean? So that's pretty cool, considering that at the time, he still wasn't no spring chicken. Like, he's an older man now. He was definitely like late 40s when he went
Early
down that
50s,
shit.
yeah.
Probably shitting bricks too, you know what I mean?
First time zip
Dude,
line.
you're not going straight down.
No,
You're
That was a long.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
line.
You know, and here's the thing, for a performer like Shawn Michaels, in the biggest match of his career up to that point, main eventing the biggest show in wrestling, to take the risk, like,
I could die.
fuck it, I'm going to send it on this.
Right.
That right there, those are qualities of a man that makes them the greatest of all time. You know, you make the GOAT list, that's the shit, that no fear, you know what I mean? And that's probably the biggest thing I've learned from wrestling, because I used to be very introverted. You know, even as a rapper, I had a lot of anxiety. So, like, before I answer the question of this, it was just like, I learned how not to be fearful by stepping out in front of that crowd and just giving everyone my character, and they're embracing it. I'm like, there ain't nothing to be scared of. There's nothing to be scared of. My moment, though, that brought me into wrestling was not one that I can personally remember, but so I was a baby, and I would not stop crying. I don't know why I would stop crying. I was a baby. Babies cry.
This guy.
So
This guy.
my aunt, being a wrestling fan for a long, long time, she's like, you know what? Send it. Let's just see what it does. And I had this little Blue's Clues chair, and she sat in front of the TV, and she pops a Raw tape in, you know, similar to what Mr. Powers had go on. And what happens? Shawn Michaels is wrestling a bum like Savio Vega or some shit. And apparently, I just not could stop watching. I'm sitting here, and they're going back and forth, and I went from nah to... And that was it.
Shut him up like that.
Straight up, wrestling was the cure for a baby being crazy. But
A
it
wild
probably
card.
worked because my mom went to WrestleMania 10 with me in her belly. So that was like the predisposition for me to
That's
be
cool.
who I am now.
That's cool.
Bro, you've been to a Mania before you hit that.
Before I hit the earth, dude, I wasn't even in reality yet.
His timer didn't even start ticking yet.
I was still incubating, you know, and then here we go.
So even before birth, this was gonna, you know, you
It
were
was
there.
inevitable.
He
Yeah.
was still in there.
It's
He was
gonna
doing
happen.
his thing, flexing and everything, kicking the hell out of his mother. You know?
Yeah, oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Talk to
She
you
told
next,
me
Mama.
she had a hard time walking with me because I was just a very troublesome baby. I like being active.
So I gotta ask, like, I don't think I asked this with Joe, so I'll ask it with you. Cause you both are coming, you know, from the music world to the wrestling world and stuff like that. And then like you were talking about, you know, being able to go out in front of, you know, a crew, and whether it's, you know, just
Wanna
sing
bring
a
it up, Rosie?
song, or whether you actually got to battle somebody. What fans do you think are more tougher? Or like
That's
you
definitely
kinda-
Clark's question.
You kind of look at them and like, okay, so you got your wrestling fans, and you got like in the music industry and those battles and stuff like that. Like you're about to go out there. Which one gives you more butterflies? Because it's like, man, these people are going to eat me up if I screw up. It's going to take me a hell of a lot more to kind of get my shit in and really prove myself. Like which one is more scary?
So there's different elements of scary to both that take a lot of energy to overcome. In terms of which fans are scarier, I would say it's equal just based off the fact, like in this business, you know how we have the term mark.
Yes.
You know, mark is a term that can be used in any type of genre of anything. You can mark for anything. You know, people that don't want to see the depth of what it is, they just enjoy the surface, and that's what brings them in. You know what I mean? And a lot, even wrestling and hip hop, you have those. But on the other side, you have the educated fan. You have the one that takes this serious. They may not be a wrestler, they may not be a rapper, but music plays a big part in their life. Or wrestling gives them that escape. You know, they love it. You know, it's something that, you know, they can express themselves or relate to. That's why Stone Cold was so big. So it just depends really on the atmosphere. If I know I'm going into a town and I'm going to rap for these people, and I've seen their environment, and I know that they have had heavy hitters before, then I know there's a standard that I have to live up to, and I'm very nervous. But same thing, if I go and I wrestle for a premier company that has had names that have drawn big money, that's when I'm going to be like, well, shit, if I make one misstep, that's when I get the, you fucked up, and then straight to Botchamania. Which is not too bad because they get a lot of views anyway, but shit, who wants to be famous for botching? So I would say there's equal fear, and it depends on which one you're heavier into, because the fear of rap meant more to me when I cared about impressing people with hip hop. Now I write music for fun. You know, it's fun for me. I just do it to do it. Wrestling, I do it for me because I love it, but I know for a fact this is a sport that you do for other people. You entertain the masses. This is what it is. It's a sport, but you're entertaining people. All sports entertain, so we're not any different. If you're not entertaining the people, you're not doing it right.
Absolutely.
I agree.
There's fear
Definitely.
if not doing something correctly and getting chastised for it is a big fear that anybody walks around with. Even just at your regular job, you're going to be scared of not doing something right and hearing about it. So imagine it on the scale of multiple people who all enjoy the same thing, and they're here to judge you. Like, that's how it goes in these types of businesses.
It's like this. It's you don't want to be referred to as, like Scorpion said, the Titus O'Neil. You don't want the referral of a fuck up be known as like, well, you just pulled the powers. You don't want that. It's only 6 hours away.
Oh,
That's a
man.
road trip. That's another story.
That's a road trip. That was a
Yeah, we're
road
going to have a
trip
road
there.
trip edition of this show. Best road trip stories. Man.
Oh,
That'll be
man.
good, too.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Oh my god.
Holy shit, yep.
That'd be horrible business.
By then when we have that video, that'll be the time when you actually do get a pair when you grow
Yeah,
up.
I'm like, yeah.
Okay.
So continue, gentlemen.
Yeah,
All right,
got
so-
it,
All right, so now that we figured out how you guys got into this stuff, now how did you get into the UWF? UWF was where you guys first started here.
I could kind of fill that in for y'all.
All right, because I remember you were here, but you were here like first on
8 months. 8 months before.
yes, like
So it was like this. It was like I got word through the grapevine that Scorpion
Mhm.
was rebirthing a company from before. So I was like, shit. I spent some time in a training camp. I've been pretty close, but my mother got sick and all that. So I called Tom up. We worked together at our local Walmart.
Walmart.
Walmart to get
You
the
get-
vanilla
you-
milkshakes and the
Walmart,
chicken
you get
nuggets.
one. So I call him up and I'm like, so what are you looking for? He's like, I'm looking for wrestlers, I'm looking for refs, I'm looking for camera guys that actually can do something and know a little bit about it and are willing to learn if they don't know. I said, shit, I can wrestle. And he's like, okay, so what do you got? I said, I got a name and so let's go from there. So we get in the ring and he knew once we started horsing around and getting in there, getting the feel out, he knew I could work.
okay.
So Tom was like, all right, cool. So for a while it was me, Tom, and you running the ring. And then we had a couple stubborn guys, Reggie.
I was gonna say Reggie was your first match here. I think,
That-
right?
Our first shoot.
Thought he knew what he was doing, but when you come to practice and you're not doing practice, you don't know what you're doing.
I thought it was funny when I seen his name on a DBW poster.
So did I.
I was like, Reggie ain't Alpha. Reggie ain't Alpha. What the hell are you talking
I
about?
remember because he was all set up for that to go on down, and then all of a sudden it was just like, no, that ain't gonna work, that ain't gonna work. And then I remember calling Brian, and I was like, knock it out. So I got a guy. He goes, well, is it gonna be good? And I was like, you're gonna love it. Guaranteed you're gonna love it. So he goes, all right, cool.
I just like giving gifts to people.
That's-
It feels so good when you
that's
make
when
wrestlers happy.
The assassin introduced me to DBW and around there. So for a while I was catching a bunch of guff at UWF, getting my ass handed to me. So I went and spent some money. And
Yeah.
so
Oh man, is this where I take the story?
my brother here
So
will fill in the history.
this man and I,
Perfect setup. This is the perfect setup.
this man and I became brothers
Let's be real.
off of the funniest shit. I met this dude at Quick Check. Didn't meet him, but he's sitting there giving the lady a hard time about not having his ID. Now he lives right up the street from Quick Check, so I get it.
I spent a paycheck there.
But I'm sitting here, I'm like, bro, I need cigarettes, I need my shit. I'm about to go watch wrestling. Coincidentally, right up the street from Quick Check. So we both look at each other, and we're the type of dudes like, all right, so you got a staring problem. You think I'm pretty? Because I can tell you how pretty I am outside in the parking lot.
They last longer,
We don't let it rock like that, though. We both had shit to do. I go up and I go watch wrestling at the house right up the street. Who the hell comes walking in the house that I'm watching wrestling at? This guy.
and the best, ready? This is the best part of the story right here.
Comes and gives my mom a hug.
Walk right up. We was just
we were gonna fight each other, but yet he knows my mother, gives her a hug. My mom knows this man close enough to give him a hug. So I'm like, oh shit.
I walked in the house. He's sitting behind her on the other side. And I seen it in his eyes. He's like, this motherfucker. Right?
Oh,
So,
touch my mom.
So,
Yeah, it's like,
no,
I'm like, yo, you follow me?
this is before. Literally, he's thinking, holy shit, this guy just followed me in this house. I walk in, I say hello to Karen, which is my landlord, right? And this guy right here is behind his mom, and I walk right up and give this woman a hug like I've known her for 30 years.
I'm sitting here mind
And
blown.
she's giving me a great hug, pats me on the back, and he's like, how you doing, sweetheart? How are you? And he's behind her, and he's like, what the fuck just happened?
And are you like giving him a face like, ha?
No,
No, he looked at me, surprised as I was. Because he's like, wait a minute.
How the fuck are you here?
That's it. How do you know? That's your son? And he's sitting there bugging out, so
Literally, we're doing this, looking at each other, just making eye contact in our heads, and we're both talking mad shit. How the fuck you know my mom?
You know what that's it. Write this down. This is the next story.
Like, legit, this is how it went down. Mr. Williams?
So then all that goes down. We go outside. We smoke a cigarette. You know, we just talk about wrestling because obviously he was there watching wrestling too. And then he tells me about the UWF. And he's like, not for nothing, you're a pretty big guy. Like, you could probably do it. Now, at that point, I've wrestled once before. Owen Devine had the Trampoline Wrestling Federation going on, the TWF and the EWF and all that shit.
Back in there, then went to.
I was actually the first EWF North American champion
Make it clear.
and the first submission champion. Never lost either one of those titles. I mean, who the fuck was going to take them from me? But I digress. So this man tells me about UWF. You weren't even around yet. You were still wearing Superman costumes, riding motorcycles.
Yeah, that's right.
All right.
I'm proud of it. Proud of it.
That's another story, too.
I embarrassed the hell of my daughter.
So at first I was actually a little apprehensive about wrestling in the UWF.
Took me like a month to
sure.
drag this guy.
You know, I seen some dudes there, and I'm just like, I don't know. And then next thing you know, he convinces me.
I put him on the spot one day.
Brings me over. He asked me, he's like, can you take a bump? Boom, slap it. I've watched enough wrestling to know at least tuck your chin and slap the mat. He's like, all right, we can do something. And I think it was you that came up with investment, though. Was it
No,
not?
that's me.
That was it.
That was me, baby.
Yeah,
I thought you came up with the storyline
No,
and you
that's
came
all-
up
that's
with
it.
the name. All right, so it's vice versa then.
It was vice
You
versa.
you came up with the bought something in Vegas.
Yep.
And you was like, I invested wisely.
Because that was his comment. Because he brushed her on over.
I was getting my
and
ass
then
handed to
he
me
was
for like
just
a month.
It was just like,
By
who's
Eric
this? This is my
Richards,
guy.
Tony
I
Atlas,
invested.
And then I started eating Tony Atlas up, talking shit.
Yep.
And then him and Eric Richards and Ray, the Punisher, all handed me my ass for a month, and I'm like, I got something. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That worked out perfectly too.
You know,
So
what was really, really great about that whole thing was that, and I don't see it as much now. I used to see it a lot then. Guys would take that to heart. Like, man, you're throwing me through the ringer. I'm getting my butt whooped. Like, you know how good I am and all this and that, whatever. The guys who actually know wrestling.
that's a part of the business,
And
guys.
like understand that there is a story to it, and then everything always there's pretty much always a plan.
Real quick, we gotta put this on the table. Even he didn't know what I had invested.
No, I had
I just told him flat out, my boy's ready, my guy's ready to rock.
Yep. Because it was just like, dude, we got to do something big. Let's try to, let's do something entertaining and everything. So we kind of had an idea, rolling with it, and then we were just like, but you need somebody. Like, what do you got? And then he was just
I
like,
do have to put it on the table. Powers, investment, name comes from that man right there. He is the one that put us together as the tag team and gave us the name Powers.
So that's where my confusion was. Then he came up with Powers investment.
Yep.
All right. So as you guys can see, I've taken a lot of hits to the head in the 3 years that I've been doing this. Yeah,
So he gets to put it in block by block as we go.
dude, the first time
Legos.
I worked Newburgh Underground Wrestling, which to me at the time was a big deal because everybody else was doing their thing going to NUW, and I'm like, yo, why the hell I ain't going, man? I'm good enough. First match there, which ended up being one of 4 matches.
Yes.
I left that day with 2 purple eyes.
Oh,
Like,
I remember.
I looked like a raccoon, bro. It was actually bad.
Yeah.
And I felt like I was getting receded for being stiff in my first match. You know, it's all good, but it is what it is. Now, trauma like that is why I cannot remember who the hell came up with her name. But I wouldn't trade it for the world. Wrestling in a little 12 by 12 sandbox ring and learning how to grapple and work a crowd with not much space. You know, that's trial by fire. I will never shit on a small ring because a smaller ring is a test of what you can really do. And a big ring is too because you have to know how to utilize that space without being wasteful. You know, so there's pros and cons to each. NUW was a very beneficial summer for me because I learned probably my best character work in Newburgh Underground Wrestling because in the UWF, I have never been a heel. I've never, not once, done some heel shit. Like, yeah, you know, I talk my shit. I'm loud and I'm a little abrasive, but the people love it. I mean, listen when I'm on the corner. Talk to me nice.
Everyone yells that.
In unison.
Everybody.
So tell me if I'm a heel or face if I'm talking my shit when everybody else loves it.
Exactly.
I digress though. Newburgh Underground Wrestling actually probably the most taught me that, legitimately. And I give Newburgh that for sure. They gave me an opportunity to express a different side of my character that I very much appreciate because now I have the ability to flip the switch if I need to.
Yep.
And that's very important in wrestling.
Good part about that is that's where you brought me into Newburgh.
And what happened there, bro? We pulled some tag straps from there. And this is the most recent edition, if you know the viewers at home didn't know. Finally, DBW Tag Team Champions.
So this is the thing I gotta say, is that right here at this section right here, we have the Brothers Creed.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay? You talk about wrestling, you talk about the art and everything, and it's awesome to hear people talk about the Brothers Creed. It's awesome to hear them talk about the UWF and all these other
Founding
companies,
members, by the
NUW,
way.
DBW, and everything like that. And what makes it even sweeter is that you mention the Brothers Creed, every person's name is mentioned. And then on top of that, the one thing that is, I wouldn't say completely dead, because it's not dead. I would say that it is starting to grow a little bit more and more. But the tag team division, including in the backyard, is something that is very sketchy because a lot of guys are all about themselves.
Yeah.
It's very hard to have a tag team that can work
As a
solid.
one-man show.
As a one-man
Two
show.
guys
They
to
know
work as
each
a
other.
one-man.
They can feed each other.
Yeah, you're right about that.
They pull
It's-
energy off of each other.
That's
If one
the
guy's
thing
hurt,
when it
one
comes to a
guy
tag
blows
team.
his pants out.
When it comes to a tag team, it's
Yo, you just called him out on that.
But I'll say,
listen. His tag partner can take the ass whooping because his tag partner comes back and give it
I was
to
gonna
him.
say,
Absolutely.
yeah, you got
It's
every
like this.
place.
You make a good point about the tag team.
That's
It's
tag team unison in its finest. When you're willing to get your ass beat because my pants and my nuts are about to start fucking flying out, and I gotta find myself an extra pair of pants.
so it's like this. When it comes to a tag team, it's not just Will Powers. It's not just the investment. It's the two of us put together.
It's Powers investment. That's legitimately what it
Legit,
is.
because it's like the Road Warriors. The two of them together were dominant, known
Right.
throughout every company, everything.
Yeah.
But as a singles guy, let's be real. Need Hawk and Animal.
Yeah.
Animal was a great spokesman, and Hawk.
I mean,
If you ever got an
we
interview,
can talk about singles guy. Let's be real.
you know, like
But this sits on the biggest shoulder of UWF.
so it's like as a tag, you have to be on the same page, whether you're in that locker room, whether you walk through the curtain, or whether you're in the ring.
Right.
As a tag team, you have to be one brain.
And
One brain.
and just the way you start saying it, this and that, whatever, the proof is in the pudding. Every place Power Investment has gone to, they always won gold.
We are
Yeah.
just to let you know,
Grand Slam tag.
Grand Slam,
Gold. And then on
and
top
we're the
of
only
that,
ones.
and just like you were talking about, being, so well of a tag team and the whole Legion of Doom and everything, you guys have something that very, very few people have, including being a tag team. And I can sit here and say I can put you guys in the bracket of one of the greatest tag teams which are the Hardy Boys. They have been a phenomenal tag team, and they each have their own individual runs as well.
They can absolutely work singles successfully and
And then
believably.
I look at it this way: when I'm running my singles, I'm Mr. Will Powers.
Right.
When I'm in a tag match with Clarke, I literally just me and him, we become one person, so we can run the tag match and do what we do best, work together. But either way, it doesn't matter where you stick us, you're gonna get a good outcome.
Right.
Whether
Yeah.
It's an awesome thing. Like, it's a very rare thing. You'll see people in wrestling, the WWE tries it all the time where they slap wrestlers together just to see if they have good chemistry. And you'll rarely get the guys like Team Hell No. You get guys like Cesaro and Sheamus. Cesaro's actually a fantastic tag wrestler because, him and Shinsuke Nakamura, him and Chris Hero back in the day on the Indies.
Sheamus, Sheamus were great.
Him and Sheamus were the bars, the shit. So, for me, tag wrestling was a bit confusing at first, especially just not knowing formats of wrestling it was. So I was very thankful that regardless of knowing how to tag wrestle properly, I know in this life how to watch my brother's back. And if you're my brother, I will go to the ends of the earth to watch your back. Now, it just so happens that this man is my brother, so when we're in the ring, there was nothing but me watching his back, and vice versa. And that's what tag team wrestling really is. It's not, flashy, let me backflip while I hold you and this, that, and the third. That looks cool. It gets over. I don't dislike it, but at the end of the day, that's not tag team wrestling. Tag team wrestling is showing that you can work as a cohesive unit to reach the same goal, and that's victory.
Yeah.
And for 3 years, every place we've gone has seen that value, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
UWF was the first one to just give us a shot. They immediately recognized what it was. They're like, these guys can fucking do it. They can do it.
Hands down, bro.
Slap the tag belts on us,
Down.
put us in a high-profile feud with the stable that was in the main event storyline at the time, and they took the belts off of us, and guess what? We got them right back, and that was the story of basically our tag team title reigns everywhere we went. Then we went to Wilkes-Barre Wrestling. 2-time tag champs over there.
Yep.
NUW, tag champs over there, and then these. Tag champs at DBW. The proof is in the pudding. Consensus top 5 tag of the yard of all time. That's just how it goes.
He said NUW, yeah.
All forms, all feds, all lists, consensus top 5. And there's a lot of great tags out there that I've met before, Shout outs to my boy Revan and Usti because they're great. Ego is fire. Those boys can work. Not for nothing, I love the Walker Brothers because they put themselves out there.
Yeah.
They're fucking monsters.
You owe us one.
They do. They absolutely
You owe
do.
us
I know y'all are hurting seeing knees around us when you didn't even get the chance to lose them to us. But I digress.
It's okay, boys.
It is what it is, man.
Should we do it?
We don't hate you. We don't hate you.
Should we do it?
Should we do it?
Are you thinking about it? Because I was gonna bring this up a little bit ago, but
Alright, do it.
when I was trying to set up into showing some footage, and then this guy over here starts talking about brothers created.
No, I'm sorry.
But anyway, so
all good.
I was actually going to bring up footage of your first time here, the first time you brought him into the UWF,
Rough.
and it was that first match of the Investment versus my alter ego, the Sega Punk, which I quickly got
Where my
rid of.
hair goes here.
It's alright. It's alright. It's a good match.
Yeah, I was gonna say
It's not a good match.
Listen,
It's not a good match.
It was phenomenal. It was a top 5.
Listen, for where the company was and we all were,
Oh my
I
God.
don't give a crap.
I
You ain't gonna find something that was better.
I want it because if you watch it, I'm probably wearing the same pants.
I don't know. I'll do it.
You're wearing all black.
Oh, you're
You're
right.
wearing
I
all
got
black.
you brand new gear.
You're wearing all
Alright,
black.
here we go.
I rewatched it.
Alright,
I'm
so
going
let's watch it, boys.
I'm going to give you the option of this. We can either watch the entire match together
The whole 2
and
minutes.
just it's
like
the entire
8.
match. It's like 8 minutes. Okay.
Yep. I know because I've watched
You're right. It
several
is
times.
8 minutes. Okay.
It's
So we
8
can
minutes.
watch
Don't
the
watch my
8-minute
footage,
match
don't watch
all
yours.
together, roast each other, both us.
It's 8
Okay.
minutes. Let's do it.
Let's do
Or-
it.
Let's do it.
Or I got 2 shots that I already put off to the side. We can look at.
Freeze frames.
There's one freeze frame,
And
and
a
the
little
other
clip.
one is a clip. a move.
What do you think?
You-
I
you
say
would-
we watch the clips, and if the clip is interesting enough to me, we're gonna go to that point of the match and forward.
All right,
All right, here we go. So let me go ahead and set up this computer. Oh, wrong one. There we go.
Oh,
He's
there
still
we go.
learning. He's
Set up
still
this-
learning.
It's okay.
He's still
Yeah, I
learning.
know.
He's still
So let me
learning.
go ahead and double check on that.
Actually, what it is right now is that he's scared right now. He's afraid of exactly. So,
It's all right. Investment. He's not in arm reach. He's not in arm reach, so investment's okay. No, you can't lean. Arm reach is no leaning.
See that arm though?
Let me go ahead.
I'm 190 pounds,
Nice.
so I'm at the perfect weight.
Now let me show you what I see, y'all. Vote when I
Look at that man right there. Look at that man. You don't have a beard at all. And then here's the clip that I'm like, you would have hated how he did this move.
What's gonna happen
Okay.
here? What's gonna happen here?
Look at that
Nice,
arm.
push a shot to the gut. Sega Punk off the ropes.
Dude, I almost ripped your fucking arm out of your socket. It's like he tried to rip the arm off and hit you with it.
Let me do
Yankee, you weren't here yet, bro. I'm not here yet. So it looks like an investment tried to rip the arm off and beat him with
It
it.
really looks like I tried to fucking straight whip your arm out.
So we're gonna
So
leave that
DC.
to
Now,
we're gonna leave that to
We gotta watch the match.
bad
Yeah.
footage. Bad footage.
here's
Wait, bad footage. Bad
Do you want to watch that
I
entire match?
definitely want to watch the match.
You want to
now.
watch the
The
entire
sun was
match?
in the
All right,
eyes. It was really hot that day.
all right. We're gonna take a.
We're gonna wait, grab the shits like this. All right, here we go, brother.
Yeah, you just.
All right, so
All right,
let's
so
watch
we're gonna
it.
take a minute. I'm gonna get this all set up. Enjoy this nice commercial we got.
A beautiful pile driver. Oh my goodness. Off like the orange.
Man, the Ultimate Wrestling Federation, they're really cool. If only they had stuff that I could buy, so I could show I'm a fan.
Well, now you can with the new Ultimate Wrestling Federation t-shirt. That's right, not only do we have the UWF t-shirt, we also have Jim the Gamer Connors, Porcelain Princess, and Okami t-shirts as well, up for sale. All the shirts here are available on the Ultimate Wrestling Federation Facebook page, or also known as the UWF Facebook page. All these shirts here are available for a low price of $15. An Ultimate fan would need the Ultimate shirt.
Was this the investment's first match or the first time I introduced the investment?
Both. This is both
History,
right
baby.
now. Okay, so this is
history.
both his first match and the first appearance of the investment here.
Hell yeah.
Okay.
Oh my god.
History, ladies and gentlemen.
History.
Here, I'm just gonna raise it. I'm gonna raise the volume up just a little bit. All right, we're gonna have this to go through, and boom, there we go. There's our baby boy.
Look at that look.
Oh,
Look at that
baby
look.
boy.
Look at that look.
Rocking the hat. You don't got the entire beard. Your hair is short.
That's another thing I'm gonna bring up in this meeting.
Look at Sega Punk. Look at Sega Punk, one of the many characters.
Sega Punk looks like how I dressed in 7th grade.
I swear to God, bro.
No, you know what? It looks like he's mocking it. Remember your rap video
What's that?
you did?
What's that? The
Right?
Warrior
Right?
title?
Like
You're
shit.
the best.
I forgot. That's the Warrior title right
That
there.
is the Warrior Championship title.
Which that's another point I'll bring up in this meeting.
Look, I didn't know how to mirror. I didn't know how to circle. I had no fucking nothing. I'm sitting there like, I was nervous. There's no one there, and I'm the most nervous I've ever been in my life.
He was. What's the word? Stale and stiff.
Oh, Sega Punk dipping out to the
But
outside.
in a good way. I'm not saying a bad way.
No, I'm stiff because my arms are like this. I'm like, I don't know what to do with my hands.
You know? He was a monster.
Let me go on. He's the first rope.
The bottom rope! The
We're
bottom
a
rope!
little cat and mouse here.
I had to go under that.
This was actually the worst ring ever to do, Cat.
Oh.
Clarke Williams and Will.
Oh my god.
They go stop. He's stomping away.
I didn't even slap my leg yet.
He's just going to town, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, here we go.
Me over here, you know.
Fucking
Cat and mouse, here we go.
again.
Again,
Wait a minute.
doing a
He
little
has learned
cat
this.
and mouse game here.
We just learned this.
Yeah.
Sega Punk has something in his hands.
Wait,
I'm
was that a
jogging.
trot that you
Clarke
did?
is like, oh, a
Oh,
vicious
yeah.
shot to
My
the
hat. My hat. I actually wrestled with their head on the whole time.
Oh, look at that look. Look at that look.
I don't think so.
Oh my god, look at that thumbs out with that punch. Oh my
Fat
god.
thumb punch.
Oh, man.
That's all it took was one.
He took two.
Jesus
I
Christ.
took 2 punches.
I didn't even know how to. Oh my god.
Wait.
Oh, suplex on the right side. Let's go. Sleeping. Oh my god. Yo, dude.
Here comes a leg drop. Beautiful. You see how stiff your leg was? It was just
Dude, that's it. Ah!
Full extension with a drop.
Oh man.
Oh, man.
Bears.
Look at Powers. Powers is laughing his ass off right there.
That fat tub of
Fucking
shit.
punches me in the stomach with his elbow, and then I'm like, oh yeah, wait now, fuck that.
Yeah.
He was stiff. He was a tub of shit.
Look at him on the really choking himself and shit, bro.
Powers is tough.
I got the bottom and the second
Powers
row.
has some rolls going on. He has a little bit of rolls going on.
Powers can fly now.
I don't understand how Sega Punk can sit here and be like, yeah, Powers being the ref for this is all good. It's not a problem.
Right? That says Toronto's screw job.
Yep. It's just right. You know that's the thing. Oh.
I was a heel. I was a heel.
Look!
Yeah.
That's a heel moment.
Totally disregard what I said at the beginning of this video.
Actually, I brought you in to be the asshole.
Did I chop him?
Chop and block. Chop and block.
No personality yet, bro. I didn't have none of that.
Yeah, you got none.
I know that didn't feel good.
NUW, man. That's what gave you.
Oh my god!
Wow. And he broke the right leg. It's just gonna
That was a Ray the Punisher shoulder block if I've ever seen one.
I ain't going Punisher.
I believe this year was after.
Will Powers has stepped in as a special guest referee for this match.
No, this is before.
Oh!
Like DDT, Clarke
Yeah.
Williams definitely.
There goes Sega Punk with the only proper move of the match, and I didn't even sell it right. I'm like, quarter roll from a DDT! Wow! I didn't even sell it. I said, yeah, sleep.
It's like Sega Punk was the pro in this one.
It really is. At this point,
Nice submission from Sega Punk.
dude, at this point, Austin is so much of a better wrestler than me. I look like I've never even watched wrestling before.
Oh my god. I'm choking you right now. Like,
You're literally bending Clark's head.
Yeah.
in
Oh,
joking you.
Stiffness again. So I'm sitting here like, I guess this is wrestling.
Well, you gotta remember, before this, you were just used to walking in, whipping ass, and walking out.
Another one.
There you go. There was the nice.
That was the
Ladies
first
and gentlemen,
smidgen of wrestling
don't
I've
get it
ever done.
twisted. Because
Like, you
before
know,
this,
Oh,
Clark would just
what
walk
I got from there?
Here we go.
a clover.
Oh my god!
What was that?
Almost rip- Oh my god, I was like, you're gonna rip Sega Punk's leg out and stuff on his ass. It's like right next to him.
I'm not gonna lie, that looks like it's fucking painful.
Sega Punk looking more
It
like
does.
a
Looks bad.
And like the weird part is like I see Austin
Clarke Williams
doing that
telling
single time.
Sega
and
Punk's
he's
like
like,
flop.
Austin,
Oh,
he's like, not really.
No.
Not really.
Sega Punk
Because the
reversed
way he
it only
sits
the 2 count.
Shoulders up, I'm just waiting to go like this.
Clarke Williams was telling Sega Punk there to tap out, but it just wasn't going to.
You know, that knee move I did in your back, I saw that on like one of those like WWE. Like,
See, I was thinking, I almost became a
It
ref.
was good.
Yeah.
So far, Clarke
I was
Williams
almost
looking
a rat.
very good.
Oh, kicks
yeah,
me.
kick.
I brought my face into the shit.
Quite a bit
Man,
of
that was
punishment.
like-
and he also has some
That was when
Dude,
I
what
ran.
did I do?
You totally just.
I am the worst wrestler of all time.
3 years ago.
You win with it too.
It was great. It was great, boys.
Sega Punk
This
going
is
for
when
his
we
own
had to
little
sell the
block
ropes,
there.
we had to sell the
We had
drops.
to sell everything.
We worked harder in the
Oh,
beginning.
that was beautiful.
The beginning of this company.
Jiu-jitsu!
Finish it off.
See?
I had something, but it wasn't there yet. It had to be
See,
cultivated.
the beginning of
Tell
this
Sega
company, we
Punk
worked
to
hard.
tap out, he's gonna
We
bring
worked
it on.
harder than 80% of other companies.
A lot of blood,
Ooh,
sweat, and
and
tears.
Straight kick to the mouth.
That was
Yeah.
Austin's like, I don't need my teeth.
a lot of blood, sweat, and tears.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. Here's the other.
There goes your arm. Oh my god!
Punk off the ropes.
Then he picks him up in the.
That was probably your best performance. Right?
That could be it, too. Bang!
And there it is. There's a
With the spine buster.
This is.
That's funny, 'cause that was gonna be my finishing
UWF, Clarke Williams captures the win.
You know what I mean? Like, I've done the spine buster. There's a lot of people, and there's probably only like fucking I can say from count on my hand.
Very
That's
well spent. Sega's
I
down.
believe when I
Ladies and gentlemen, that's for this match madness show.
And like
flat-footed me.
I could
motherfucker.
not jump at all.
So,
and, like my timing was completely.
I gotta
off, and
say-
you got me up a little bit, and then you were just like, fucking.
No, that's what happens too. It's like, listen, if you don't jump for my spine buster, I still have to make it look pretty decent. You know what I mean? So it turns into like a spear.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, all right, well, I'm sorry. You know, and unfortunately, you know, like Casey James, that's my boy. Like in the last show when I defended the belt against him, I hit him with that spinebuster spear, and I felt really bad. I actually felt bad because usually when I hit it on somebody like that, it's someone that's been a fucking asshole to me or isn't working properly.
Right.
Casey James has never done me wrong. Casey James has always been supportive of me.
Right.
So when that happened, that was like the first time that I genuinely was like, damn, dude. Because anytime I hit a stiff move on somebody, it's just a receipt. Yeah. It's just a receipt. I've been kicked in the fucking eyes. I've been blasted in the mouth. And I'm like, all right. And my receipt's usually just one of those.
Yeah.
No, yeah. Anybody watching at home, you can tell me that a Clarke chop is easy to take. I'll be at your house to prove the Clarke.
I was gonna say, dude, talk about your chops, okay? I remember back in DBW when Blaze looked at you and said, "I want a real fucking chop."
I remember that day. Little Blaze.
He was baby Blaze then too. He was Ember.
That man.
He was
just
an
like,
Ember.
I want a real
He was
chop.
an Ember.
He was like, your chops, he wanted a real chop, okay? And no one,
Everybody
I don't
told
know
him
the whole
Yeah.
no.
story,
No.
okay? But you say go ahead, okay? You go ahead and you talk about that, all right? Because I remember when you went ahead.
Blaze comes up to me and I'm in a multi-man match. This is actually my first match in DBW ever. So naturally, I wanted to show out. I wanted to do some shit, and I was still almost the wrestler that you just seen. All I had was a decent look going on and some power. So they put me in the ring with a bunch of small guys to accentuate my power, which was awesome. Blaze, who is Mr. Judgment's son, comes up to me and he says, "Clarke, I want you to chop me for real." And I said, "Blaze, young man, I don't think that's a good idea. I actually don't care if I hurt you with a chop. It's your mother is going to hurt me. Your father is going to hurt me. You know what I mean? Like, they're going to have something to say to me." And he's like, "No, I'm asking you to chop me for real." He had a lot of piss and vinegar. And I'm like, "Young man, I respect that. You will get a chop. But we're going to work it." So we're in the match. We work for like 5, 6, 7 minutes.
I can feel my chest hurting right now.
And
I never got it.
I finally called for the chop spot. I'm like, all right, Blaze, let's do it. So I hit him first. Everyone's cleared out. It's just me and Blaze in the ring. Just literally. And everyone's like, oh, booing me type shit. Like, what the fuck was that?
Blaze called you out.
Blaze is like, that wasn't shit. You know what I mean? So then I don't crack him with some shit. This time I used the palm. I'm like, that wasn't nothing. I'm like, all right, dude, light it up.
Talk about poking the bear.
I got you, brother. I mean, it is what it is. Load. Boom! He said,
And he went down.
boom!
Yeah,
The kid is tough, but I looked out in the crowd and all I see is angry parental faces. And I'm like, you fucking signed this young man up for this, bro. So at the end of the day, I don't know.
Your son was the one who won.
Somebody
Hey,
went up to
Brian.
Brian.
That's for the ass whooping you never gave him.
Oh my god, yo man, don't.
Oh man.
Nah, Blaze is the shit. He's
Good
like,
kid. Good kid.
Yeah.
Blaze is fucking awesome. I respect that he doesn't have any fear in him. Like I was talking about that fear that I started out with. He doesn't have that.
Yeah.
So that's why I think Blaze has got places to go. Dudes like Blaze and like Romick, those guys, they're trying to learn the right way.
Yeah.
And given especially the times that we have now, this whole COVID-19 pandemic, to be a successful wrestler is very, very hard.
It is.
Because wrestling is based off of the fans, it's based off of the crowd, it's based off of how you work that. So to not have those available, to not let that even be allowed, it's hard to make it as a wrestler. So the message I can give out to any aspiring wrestler or somebody that's wrestling right now in this time is don't give up and don't stop, because this pandemic will not be forever. And when the dust settles and you're still standing there for the business and you're still ready to give yourself to the business, it will give itself right to you. You know what I mean? Don't give up, because you get out what you put in. You give up, you don't
give,
get
you
shit
shall
back.
receive.
Exactly. Yep. Exactly. All right, man. You got anything
All right,
else?
so I got one question to ask you guys. So what do you guys have planned for this year then? UWF, sure with 2020 it was rough for us trying to record. but we were able to do it. What do you guys plan on doing this year to show off to the fans? What do you expect this year to be like for you? Okay.
I expect it to be like every other year. Amazing, a nice walk, like not even a walk. It's gonna be firecrackers everywhere because UWF has new tag gold. So we got our eyes on that, and the investment's the world champion.
Mm-hmm.
But there's some things I gotta mention. The Warrior title, I would be the UWF #1 contender. I got passed over for Yankee, the difference maker. I'm okay with that. But there's also another thing, like, I am the unclaimed world champion.
Whoa! Whoa!
Oh,
You are my brother.
Whoa!
But I never lost the world title.
Woo! You are my brother, but you've also never beat me. So
This year's gonna be great.
we're here next to the staff. They can make whatever they want happen.
you know.
But I'm sorry, and keep this in mind after I say this, because that is money. You got
That is
us on
money.
Match Madness. You didn't give us fucking live show main event. You give us live show main event, you get 25 minutes of the best match you've ever seen. But I do have to take care of business before I do business with my brother. At the last show, you've seen what Yankee did.
Oh, Murder
yeah.
Club will pay.
Put your hands on our mother, right?
You know I'm a humble man.
Did it not take
That-
the whole locker room to stop me?
That will not make me. I'm not a humble individual for the difference maker.
So my plan for this year is this. Yankee, like I said before, your 15th minute, it doesn't come at the expense of me, brother. I'm the champ for a reason. I'm a young gun. I'm the baddest pair of knuckles to come out of upstate New York since Mike Tyson himself, and I'm just that damn good. So when I take care of your ass, then it's you. And then them tag belts.
And then them
2020
tag belts.
is over.
Ain't gonna lie.
2021
If we take them tag belts
is
first,
the year of Power's investment, baby.
we take them tag belts first, it'd be an interesting world title match.
Ooh.
How's that, fans?
Oh my god, tag team champ against another tag team champ is also
For the straps.
that.
For the fucking straps.
So now
I can't remember a high profile storyline like that. I remember I've seen storylines where they'll make the champ and the guy who's the #1 contender be tag champs for like 3 weeks, and then they lose the belts
The
prior.
last week.
But I've never seen, and whoever watches this, there's a lot of wrestling fans out there, so maybe you could put us on. But actual tag team champs where one's the world champ and they still face each other. You know what I mean? Or I would love to see Intercontinental champ, tag champ versus heavyweight champ, tag champ. That would be cool too if one of them still had a main card belt, each of them.
So let me make this very, very clear. Very, very clear. All right. We break the fourth wall here. Everybody knows what's up. By now, if you do not know by now, then
And you are living the dream, keep this dream going.
That's
Holy
right. Santa
crap.
Claus is real.
by
So is
now,
Easter Bunny.
everybody knows how wrestling is done. There's writers, there's creators.
There's a story of the river.
There's a story,
before
this,
shit
that.
hits
It's
the fan.
politics, and every time you
It's
write a show,
politics
it's
and
fucking
everything.
Capitol Hill for the guys that don't like it. I promise you this right
Like-
now.
But even with that being said, even with the ideas that you just heard flying out and this and that, whatever, you guys may have heard the ideas. You guys may say, you know what, we're going to do that before them and all this and that, whatever. That's fine and dandy. But here's the thing. We've proven here over and over and over again. You brought it up. Doesn't matter the type of weather. We still go out there. We do what we got to do. We had a serious pandemic go down.
Still got it done.
And we still got it done. I think we only missed one main show, which was the Stanley Clash, and then the
Yeah.
Christmas one was one that we just spear out and just
Spontaneously
did, you know.
Yeah.
Probably
So-
made up for missing Stanley anyway.
Yeah, so we pulled off what we needed to, pull off, unlike a lot of other feds, because because of the pandemic and everything like that. When it comes down to all that, you take all that, plus you take the knowledge that is within this company, with everybody that we have here, all their wrestling knowledge, the guys that are brand new that like we mentioned before, they may not have been big wrestling fans, and they're slowly getting into it. They're like brand new eyes. You have guys that don't want to be wrestlers because they can't do it, but they're huge wrestling fans. They're feeding input. We like this, we like that, this and that, whatever. We absorb all that. And that's why we're able to tell such good stories and put things together and everything. Sometimes, the ball gets dropped and things get construed and missed, stuff like that, whatever. But at the end of the day, how many views you got on fucking just one of your fucking matches? You can't go anywhere without being like, yo, that's Will Powers, man.
It's surreal to get
know
a
what I
feeling from wrestling.
People know your guys' matches. People know your guys' battles, what you've been through, and this and that, whatever. They wouldn't if you guys could not perform at the level that you do, and you guys are not telling it the way that it should be told. So you can take all these things. You can try and do your very, very best. I wish you the best of luck, but I'm letting you know now. 2021, the UWF is going up and up and up, and the storylines here are going to be insane. They're going to be told, oh man,
If we can make it through
Stephen
last
King,
year,
get ready, buddy.
Last year was
executing it
the
way
worst.
we did,
We made it through last year.
doing it how we did it, and still turning out as quality as it did. 2021, the fucking ceiling is a glass ceiling that will be shattered. At the end of the day, wrestling is so important to every single person that's a part of the UWF. That's why it's destined to always be successful, because everybody a part of this show, the one mentality we can all share, even if someone's a little egocentric, a little prideful, nobody is bigger than the show. We all have a part to play in making it roll, and if you don't do your part, then the show falls apart. And that's why this place that we have, which is forged from adversity, because no one has ever given the UWF a shot. No one's ever said, yeah, I know you can do it. The UWF believed in itself to do it. And look where we are now. Still believing, still achieving, and still being successful. So, 2021, the UWF is the premier federation to keep your eyes on. That's just what it is. If you love wrestling, that's what it is.
The one person I want to send a huge shout out to is the one guy who hit us up when a lot of companies were laughing at us, poking fun, telling us to shut down, we're nobodies, we're garbage, and all this and that, whatever, is Mr. Judgment, is Brian. He's the one that saw us, and it was just like, hey, I see what you guys got. How would you like the guys to come on down and be part of DVW? We'd like to have you and everything. As soon as that door opened, it was a floodgate.
Yeah.
Can't keep the water out.
Yeah, there's
And-
much respect for Brian.
And
Absolutely.
what did we do?
100%.
We pulled off something that so many companies have tried and haven't been able to do. We pulled off a surprise win that even shocked the hell out of the friggin' winner.
Oh yeah, that one.
It's the
Oh,
circle
man.
of champions right here, man. Everybody here has held the heavyweight title for this fucking company.
Yeah.
And you could say that's very Vince Russo-esque. But
We've done it.
it took me 3 years for mine, guys, so it's alright. I had to prove myself. I don't know about you bums with your pens out.
I mean, him over here. I think he got it in year 1. I think I got mine in year 2 or 3. I think I was in year 2. No, because that was with.
I'm the second UWF heavyweight champion.
So actually, I think I was the 3rd year. Cause
You might have been the third.
yeah, I was the 3rd year.
Your
really.
3rd year was my 2nd year.
Yeah.
So,
So
yeah.
I think that was it.
And then who else was?
Any more-
Cyrus was heavyweight champion, right?
Cyrus
Yeah,
was
Cyrus.
heavyweight
And then he
champion.
dropped it to who?
Wow, man.
Actually,
Him?
I took it from Cyrus.
You took it from Cyrus?
I took it from Cyrus, and then I had the injury. So then Bone
Bone
Daddy
Daddy won it.
took it off me, and then from Bone Daddy it went to Castelli, and then from Castelli it went to you.
Yeah. And then ever since then, look at the title matches you had. Fuck. Castelli, Vaughn, McDonald, Casey James.
Yeah, that was
Wow.
the trilogy of matches I had to fucking round out this year. Not for nothing. If you look at the heavyweight title picture and you go back and you just look at the levels, Bone Daddy carried it such a finesse for his character. I love the way he fucking portrayed that. Cyrus is the it factor. You know, everybody knows what the fuck Cyrus does, so when you see the belt with him, it's very believable. Stinger is always, the Scorpion has always been number fucking one. You know what I mean? You're over with the fucking people. It doesn't matter if they've just come from towns away, or they've known you, or they're from this town. You are over because you know how to connect with the people. You fucking suck.
I know I do.
Nah, dude.
I suck, man.
Nah, dude, not even close. Like, I've always said since day one that this man is the hardest working man in UWF. He's worked 5-match shows with fucking 3 different characters, and by the end, he's still hurting, and he's like, I still got to do a match. And he does it, no question. You know, that's the type of shit that it takes to make the show run, and he took it upon himself to do it, and that's fucking awesome. So that's what made him a great champion. And yours vanished in the fucking thin air. It don't count. Ha ha!
You see that look? You see that hunger? Look at it! Look at it! He's like, oh, I'm looking at it. I'm looking at it.
Mine for yours?
Guess we just have to see what the year shows.
It's alright. You gotta beat the guys I beat first. You already got one.
I already beat them.
You beat Devon, you didn't beat Castelli.
Castelli's went out.
I don't know where Castelli's at, but if he wants to
He's
come
on an
back.
airplane somewhere.
No, didn't he wrestle in NUW recently? I seen it. Calling it out.
Yeah, but
I
how
seen
old is
Castelli.
Let's just
They're
say,
inside.
let's just say that there's conversations happening.
Going back for your rematch, brother. I got you. It won't change. The outcome won't change, but I got you.
Yeah, I think we might leave it on that, you guys.
Oh,
All right.
So before we end, usually we do little like plug-ins for small businesses or small projects that fellow wrestlers here have done. Giving you guys the green card. If you want to say anything right now, go right ahead. Okay.
I'm gonna give a
just in
shout
case,
out.
just in case it's a bad one, it's a scapegoat on you too.
I love it.
Give a shout out to Fire Team Designs. You need any of your merchandise, any other stuff, hoodies, sweatshirts, all of it, hit up Fire Team Designs. Right on Facebook, you can find them.
And check out Clarke Williams on Facebook. Like the page. Check out my Instagram at MoneyFightClarke. Check out everything we've ever done on YouTube, and peep out LTW Live, where the professional Clarke Williams just beat down a couple of good homies. I'm telling you now, it's real worth it. Talk to me nice, baby. Brothers Creed.
And that is what we wrote. Now, catch us next time on the next Flashpoint here. We'll be leaving another surprise guest coming in. So, we'll see you next time.
He's going to kiss him on the lips.
Same time, same channel.